It is Wednesday, February 26th. Welcome back to the Damon Bruce Show. It is great to have you here. Humo Day, Hump Day, that's what we've called it on the Plus. It is very much turned into a Warriors Weekly with our good friend Cyrus Satsis, but something came up last minute for Cyrus. He got in touch with me like 90 minutes ago and said, Damon, I'm sorry, I can't make today's show. An appointment that I've been trying to get finally came open. They offered it to me. I got to take it. I'm like, go. I totally get it. Life is what happens when you are making plans. So today, here on the Plus, let me just tell you, if you are a Cyrus viewer who is here today, good to have you. Thanks for stopping on by. If you're one of my regulars, always great to see you. Thank you for coming on by. If you're new here, hit like and subscribe. We're about to talk basketball for a little while here, and we're only going to keep today's show in the realm of basketball. Warriors Weekly. And what an interesting week it's been for them. I mean, this is all of a sudden a team that is pointed in the right direction after a aimless, hapless, undefined start to their year. Well, I guess that's what made the year so weird, because they started so well, and then it seems like they lost grip on that. You know, it felt like there was a lot more in play here than DeAnthony Melton got hurt. It was just a team that was getting old, playing uninspired. It was not working. And then they make a trade for Jimmy Butler, and all of a sudden it is. It's really working. 3 straight wins by 20 or more. That net rating since Jimmy has joined the team has gone through the roof. They have found the free throw line since the first time since Rick Barry was hitting granny shots from the free throw line. This is a team that is playing a better style of basketball, a different style of basketball. And, it's not just different in terms of they were playing bad. Now they're back to Warriors basketball. This is like a new version of Warriors basketball, thanks to not only Jimmy Butler showing up, but Jimmy has allowed everyone else to find their own level. This is the best Brandon Pajemski has looked as a pro. This is the best that Moses Moody has looked as a pro. This is the most comfortable and relaxed we've seen Steph Curry and Draymond together on a court in a long time. And we're seeing even the back of the bench guys, Quentin Post, he is starting to really blossom into, all right, he's more than a human victory cigar. You can give this guy minutes. He can hit that corner three. There's something there with Quentin Post. There are guys who, like Jimmy Butler, have been, inspired by this. Something is happening, right? And hold on, I can take a little sip here. Sip of the day, right off the rip there. And if I can pay tribute to Ralph Barbieri, Bay Area broadcasting legend, no longer with us. 2 things can be equally true. And I'm seeing 2 things right now. There are 2, I think, undeniable, undebatable facts surrounding this 6-1 stretch with the Warriors since adding Jimmy Butler. Number 1, they've played nobody. It has been a lineup of tomato cans and undermanned teams. I mean, last night they skinned the Charlotte Hornets alive. They plucked the wings right off of them. There was no LaMelo last night. They haven't caught a single good team. And if any team might have been better if player X was playing that night, the Warriors missed that guy too. So they have been handed a soft 6-1. They have. They've been handed it to them. And you know what? That's fine. Because if you want to become a bully again, you don't start your bullying legacy by picking on the biggest kid on the playground. You start with the cream puffs. And it's really good for the Warriors that they've got these cream puffs behind them and coming up here on this 5-game road trip that is really, I think, just going to keep on instilling confidence and them getting used to playing a style that is, a little bit new to them, but it fits. Again, 2 things can be equally true. The Warriors haven't played anybody. That is true. What is also true, that regardless of strength of schedule, regardless of opponent, They're just playing with vibes. They're playing much better basketball. There is Steve has always called it a basketball with joy. There needs to be a level of joy. It feels like joy is back in the room. I'm not even exaggerating, for the first time since Draymond punched Jordan Poole. That's what it feels like it's going on here. These guys are all bouncier, happier, more confident, and you can literally see it through the screen. It translates quickly when a team is feeling itself, as opposed to when a team is feeling like, well, technically there is a game scheduled tonight, so I guess we got to go do that. I think these guys are speeding to the locker room. They're speeding to the practice gym. They're very excited to be playing basketball for the first time since the start of this season. So I'm happy with what I'm seeing. There is no doubt about it. Our good friend Otis Bird III agreed, man, the Warriors look like a totally different team than just a couple weeks ago. And look, it's not just Jimmy that is making things look different. It's all the guys playing differently around Jimmy that has been like the add-on. Like, not only did they trade for Jimmy Butler, but in that trade, they seem to have now gotten the best. They've traded for the best version of Brandon Pajemski that we've seen. They've traded for the best version of Moses Moody that we have seen. They have traded for a version of Quentin Post that all of a sudden is like, who is this guy? Like, this guy isn't just here to, dot a lopsided win with a couple of nice buckets and a little bit of attitude in his 3-point celebration where he's dropping the waving threes at you. There's something going on here. Last night, Yuri Collins and Pat Spencer each got 10 minutes. Not combined. They each played 10 minutes. Guy Santos, 19 minutes. Quentin Post, 18 minutes. Kevin Knox, who, by the way, Kevin Knox has done nothing in this league yet, but you see why he is. People are thinking about, what can we get out of him? That guy's an athlete, man. Kevin Knox does a few things on a basketball court, not consistently enough yet, but Kevin Knox all of a sudden is like, hello, okay, what do we got here? Just signed the kid from Australia on a 2-way deal. What do they got there? I don't know how long it's going to be till we find out, or if there's going to be any there at all. We don't know. But, man, there's just something happening around the Golden State Warriors, and it is undeniable. Even a Warrior hater, even somebody who didn't like the team would have to say, yeah, something is different since Jimmy walked in the room, and there really is no debating it. I want you to have a little something different today for lunch, and that means hopefully you live near an Ike Sandwiches, because if you do, something different is on the menu for you each and every day. If you fall in love with one sandwich, as I do, and you keep on just reordering that sandwich, you're kind of doing it wrong at Ike's. Take the flavor journey. If this sounds good today, but that sounds good tomorrow, don't stick with what you got today for tomorrow. You change it up a little. Change it up when you're at Ike's. And boy, if you're not around an Ike's, I hope one is coming near you soon. Sign up for that Ike Love Rewards program. This channel would be a lot of things, but without Ike, we certainly wouldn't be as happy and successful as we are early on here. I thank him. I thank you. You want to take care of me, take care of my sponsors, and you start with my man Ike, our friends at the Dubliner. Absolutely love the guys. Dubliner, West Portal, best Guinness pour in the city of San Francisco. Go say hi to Kenny. Tell him that the Damon Bruce Show sent you. And we love Kenny and the Dubliner very, very much. And again, you're thinking about making a play, laying a little juice on a game. Check out BetUS and use promo code YouTube150 when you do to save 150% on your sign-up bonus, up to $2,000 on your first deposit. And that's how we get down. Thanks again for being here. Hit like and subscribe. We will get back tomorrow into the NFL. 49ers Combine Week is underway in Indianapolis. I saw the team grades, player grades came out for teams today. 49ers did very well. I see we got Matthew Stafford rumors, maybe to the Las Vegas Raiders. We'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll get into that stuff. Maybe we'll do a video on that stuff. But today is basketball. And again, Shared this with you before last night's game. Jimmy Butler has become the first Warrior in franchise history to score 120 points with 30 or more rebounds and 30 or more assists through the first 6 games with a team, with the Warriors. In his 7th game, the win over Charlotte last night, it was a quieter night than we've seen out of Jimmy. And it was a quieter night statistically for all the Warriors starters because that game was over basically after halftime. I mean, it was a runaway win for the Warriors, so they got to go deep into the bench last night. Everybody played except for Trayce Jackson-Davis. And Trayce is still dealing with an injury. Would love to see him get back in the lineup soon. Again, speaking of another reason to be excited of the Warriors, Jonathan Kuminga is going to be back in this lineup soon. And Jimmy Butler's already talking about how he thinks he's just going to be a perfect fit along with him. And another guy who's attacking and playing like him is going to open up more open looks for Steph and company from downtown. And look, in his 7th game last night, 6 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, 0 turnovers. He was 0 for 1 at the free throw line. First time Jimmy hasn't hit a free throw in Warriors uniform. He only played 19 minutes, but again, that game was in hand at halftime, and there was nothing else to talk about. That was in the win column easily. So you don't want to burn the wick before you go out on a 5-game road trip, and this is exactly what the Warriors need. They need to continue to gel together as their new entity. They need to continue to give some real minutes to younger players and back of the bench guys who will be called on to help this year. They will be. They need to rest Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy as much as possible. You don't want to go emptying those gas tanks if you don't have to. And the game against Charlotte was a feet up on the ottoman 4th quarter for all involved. So that was good. Again, when Yuri Collins and Pat Spencer are each logging double-digit minutes in a game, things have gone remarkably well or remarkably bad for the Golden State Warriors. And since Jimmy's been here, remarkably bad seems to have left the room. You know, the Warriors were always capable of big highs, but unfortunately they would crash into the lowest of lows. And, you know, this team doesn't look anything like the team that I just saw have success the other night. What happened? You know, is it just a straight up, all right, it's a make or miss league, and tonight they're missing too many shots? It wasn't that. It wasn't just the shots they're taking are being missed. They were taking bad shots. They were turning it over too much. The fact that Jimmy has calmed down this team from turning the ball over like it was their job is one of the biggest value adds that Jimmy Butler can possibly give to this team. It's been good. It's really, really been good since this guy walked into the room. Damon, I wish I could get an Ikes. I moved to the PNW. Pacific Northwest doesn't have you. I hope you get one soon. I hope there's one coming your way. Chef A. Didn't Jimmy emphasize that they're all going to play with their back? They're all going to play their back-to-back last week. He definitely wasn't going to sit. That's the thing, dude. It's all time. It's time for soft thinking to end. It's time for a player plays mentality with 24 games left remaining in this season as a team is trying to find who it is. Everybody's available every night that they ain't hurt. That's how it goes from here on out. By the way, Chef A, stay tuned because when we get to today in history, believe it or not, you're going to be a part of it. That's called a tease, boys and girls. So there's another thing that I couldn't help but notice as I was watching last night's game, looking at just, Twitter, my timeline, discourse, so on and so forth. Do you realize that not a soul misses Andrew Wiggins? Who? Have you even thought of Andrew Wiggins since he's been traded? Like, I don't mean to twist the knife on the way out, but was he even here? What a huge scoop of nothing Andrew Wiggins has really been, especially when you compare him to Jimmy Butler. And look, everyone is trying to figure out, what is Jimmy? What's the best way to describe Jimmy Butler? Well, he's the opposite of Steph Curry, therefore a perfect complement. He's Draymond Green with more scoring ability, yet he brings another defensive presence. He's a dog, so that's what you need. No. He's Andre Iguodala 2.0. Iguodala 2.0 would be the best way to describe Jimmy Butler. Let me tell you what the best way to describe Jimmy Butler is. He and Andrew Wiggins. That's the best way to describe Jimmy Butler. When Andrew Wiggins is the second best player on your team, you're in trouble. When Jimmy Butler's the second best player on your team, you're in good shape. One guy is a total basketball dog, and the other guy was a basketball pussycat. And you didn't know what you were going to get out of Andrew Wiggins in any night. And honestly, just in terms of age, athletic talent, Andrew Wiggins should be better than Jimmy Butler every single night the two of them are out there playing a basketball game, but he's not. I don't know if Jimmy Butler has the ceiling of Andrew Wiggins anymore, but it's the floor that I trust in Jimmy Butler, and I never knew where Andrew Wiggins' floor was. Andrew Wiggins was never consistent enough to be counted on. You can count on Jimmy tying up the laces tight and going to war every single night. It was a how engaged is Andrew Wiggins going to be tonight conversation that you'd have to have with yourself. Midway through the first quarter, you're like, all right, what kind of Wiggins you getting tonight? I hated Andrew Wiggins. I hated Andrew Wiggins as a basketball player. Everything that he kind of stood for and represented, including the talent that he didn't bust his ass to make the most out of every single night. Like, I get why people have been picking on Andrew Wiggins since he was at Kansas. I get it. And now that he's gone, I can honestly say I'll never think about him again. I haven't seen his name appear in a Miami box score. Is he with Miami? Is he even still in the league? That's how out of sight, out of mind Andrew Wiggins is. I mean, the guy is just, he was, to use Jim Harbaugh's favorite phrase, trusted agent. I never trusted Andrew Wiggins. Never trusted him. And I will go to my grave saying he did play a big role in that Boston series. But that week picked him to be great more than he picked that week to be great. I'll believe that to the day I die. The cosmos and the cosmic tumblers all came up Andrew Wiggins in that series. I don't think it's because Wiggins made it happen. Just the cosmos allowed it. I don't believe that Andrew can pick and choose the moments that he wants to be great in. And if he can, the fact that he chooses to be great so infrequently is why I absolutely hated him as a basketball player. I do not miss Andrew Wiggins. And guess what? Neither do you. Neither does anybody. Nobody involved with the Golden State Warriors misses Andrew Wiggins at all. So, 24 games left for the Warriors. That's where they are. 24 games left for the Warriors in the regular season. Their 5-game road trip begins Thursday. Orlando, Philadelphia, Charlotte again, New York Knicks, and Brooklyn. So the Magic have a losing record. The Sixers are the biggest frauds in the NBA right now. The Hornets stink. You saw that last night. The Knicks are all about which Jalen Brunson are you going to get tonight. If Jalen Brunson, the I might be the greatest Knick ever, shows up, you got your hands full. I will also say that for a team that is 17 games over 500, the New York Knicks really don't scare me at all. The Brooklyn Nets, They picked up a win over the feckless Sixers over the weekend that put them, what? Now they got 21 wins on the year. They just went over 20 wins on the season. They suck. And again, the fact that they just beat the 76ers needs to illustrate how much the 76ers suck as well. So of this 5-game road trip, I want 4-1. I want 4-1. 5-0 sounds even better. 3-2 sounds like you let go of the rope against a team you shouldn't have. Don't be upset. Don't be upset by an inferior team anymore. If the Warriors do that the rest of the way, I think they can reach and be the 6th seed. Maybe even the 5. The 4? Let's not get crazy. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Jacob says, the Knicks have the misfortune of being in the same conference as the Celtics and the Cavaliers. Yeah. And the Warriors have the fortune of an East Coast road trip that doesn't have the Cavaliers or Celtics on it. So I'm very, very happy that not only are they playing well, the vibe seem right, they have a very generous schedule in front of them in which to build momentum, confidence, stack very needed wins on top of each other to try to get to that 6, the 5, the 4. And this is in a season that felt like it was going nowhere fast. All of a sudden, it's traveling in the right direction quickly. So this is good news. If you're a Warriors fan, you are happy with what you got last night. And if you are a Warriors fan who appreciates a little bit of history, the Warriors made some last night. That was the 3,000th win in franchise history. The only other NBA teams to have reached the milestone of 3,000 franchise wins are the Lakers, the Celtics, the Knicks, and the Sixers. That's it. So the Warriors are now one of 5 teams in NBA history to ever win at least 3,000 games. Very impressive, especially when you consider that as a franchise, they were lost in the woods for decades at a time. I mean, there was a moment in time when you want to talk about, all right, NBA contraction, which team can go? Like the Golden State Warriors could have ceased to existed like post-run TMC or pre-run TMC after you get out of – here's the thing. They got Wilt Chamberlain holding up a picture of 100. Then they had the Rick Barry won a championship moment. Then it was really nothing till run TMC. And even that was a better nickname than it was a real team. They were more fun to watch than they were, scary. They were entertaining as hell. And look, that's a part of it. That's a part of falling in love with basketball. It only took 78 years to get to 3,000 wins. Well, I mean, when you only got 82 games in a season, it's going to take that time. It's going to take long. Seth Curry looked sad last night, Chef A. I mean, he's always got kind of like that hangdog look on him, right? Yeah. By the way, Spreewell, coach, choking PJ was entertaining. Fuck you, Coach Papalissimo. I'm coming for you. I tell you what, though, getting back to the whole Seth Curry thing, there was a graphic that was put up last night by CSN Bay Area, and I actually took a picture of it with my phone. I didn't do a good enough job taking a picture of it with my phone to share it with you graphically. Again, I'm a host. I can host great content. I can't really produce it. The fact that I can show you pictures of Ike, the Dubliner, and Bet US is a miracle unto itself. It really is. But here we go. The most combined 3-point field goals from a father-son duo, NBA history of all time. It is Steph Curry and Del Curry, who at the point in time where they showed this graphic last night, have combined for 5,200 threes as father and son. After them, it's Tim Hardaway Sr. and Jr. They've combined for over 3,334. Then it's Michael Thompson and Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson hit 2,634 threes. Michael Thompson hit 1. But the two of them together are the third all-time father and son duo. The fourth, LeBron James and Bronny, with all of LeBron's career threes and 3 from Bronny as a pro. They are fourth all-time father-son duos, most made threes ever. And then it's Del Curry and Seth Curry appearing again. That's something else. You put 2 kids in the NBA, and no matter which kid you add to you got a top 5 father-son 3-point producing family lineage. That's incredible. It really is. I know that Seth isn't anywhere near Steph in terms of, basketball prowess, but that's still a hell of a family in terms of, can you guys shoot it? Yeah. You would not want to, when you talk about who's the all-time family you wouldn't want to get into a 3-point shooting contest with, it's definitively the Currys. And then after that, I don't know, maybe it's Reggie and Cheryl Miller. Can Cheryl still hit it from downtown? I bet you Reggie can still put up a good rack in a 3-point shooting contest. I didn't like Reggie Miller as a player at all, but I will say, had he in his era embraced the 3 the way that this does, there's a very good chance that Reggie Miller would have been the NBA's all-time leading scorer. I mean, good God. Okay. Moody 10-0 as a starter. Don't you need to tack on a shooting percentage for that to be totally factually correct the entire way through? Like Moody is undefeated as a starter when he shoots 40% or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe it's just straight up him in the starting lineup, 10-0. If so, do it. Keep starting him. Keep starting him. 24 games left for the Warriors. 5-game road trip starts in Orlando tomorrow. Last night in the NBA, did you tune over to the Lakers game? Of course you did. You're curious. You're NBA Laker curious, just like I am. Luka's first game against the Dallas Mavericks. He had a triple-double. I'm actually surprised he didn't have more for the Dallas Mavericks. I really am. I thought Luka was going to put 50 on him last night. The Lakers, look, they're an NBA best 15-4 since January 15th. Nico Harrison should be booed out. The Lakers fans started chanting, "Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Nico." By the way, I did tweet last night that Nico Harrison should be made so uncomfortable living in the city of Dallas that he has to move out of the state of Texas. This is an unforgivable trade. And for those who want to defend him and say, well, it really wasn't his decision, it came from on high, he should have resigned. He should have resigned before he traded Luka Doncic. He would have gone down as a legend. Instead, he's going to go down as the guy who has enacted what I'm going to call the modern Babe Ruth curse. I'm going to tell you right now, the Dallas Mavericks are never going to win anything. And that's too bad, and it won't be Kyrie's fault. Let me just say, in a bad situation, we're officially seeing the best of Kyrie Irving. Like, this guy's playing his tail off under bad circumstances. He really is. I didn't think we would ever get Kyrie is a force to be reckoned with level of Kyrie in this league again, but give him full credit. He really is. There's a guy who I've been back and forth with on Twitter says, hey, we don't know what's going to happen with Anthony Davis and the Mavericks, and you cannot judge this trade until we know. My ass. The team that traded the 25-year-old global generational talent for the oft-injured, too old now player, no matter how good that player is, has lost the trade. There is no one, not even anyone in the Davis family, waiting to see what Anthony Davis does with the Dallas Mavericks before they declare the Lakers the winner of this trade. There is no defending the trade. It's defenseless. It's negligent. It's the opposite of trying to win. Dallas Mavericks were just in the NBA Finals with a 25-year-old leading the way, and they traded him. And apparently, there's a story coming out today that one of the reasons why the Dallas Mavericks didn't think that Luka was going to get his shit together was because he likes hookah. Hookah. When you think of all the things that an NBA player is smoking, hookah seems to be among the most tame, right? I mean, I don't think ingesting all of that thick, heavy, tarred up, waxy smoke in your lungs is good. There's no element of smoke going in your lungs that is good for you. But, cigar, hookah, blunts, weed, everybody in the NBA smokes. To say that we had to get rid of Luka Doncic because he likes hookah is ridiculous. I follow a guy who's a big Lakers fan. His name is also Damon Rangula. And he says the Lakers should keep a victory hookah now on the bench and let Luka hit the hookah just to rub it in the Dallas Mavericks face. I'm all for it. I'm looking for an NBA hookah sponsorship. The only other thing that I have, an observation I have from the league to share with you here today on what's going to be a short show, is that the Grizzlies and Suns went to overtime last night and played the highest scoring game in the league this season to date. They go to overtime. Memphis closes the game on a 7-0 run, and the Grizzlies win 151-148 in overtime. I hope you had the over if you were on that one. I hope you had the over. And let me just say that Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns are perfect for each other. They're perfect for each other. They really are. Because we know Kevin Durant is a bucket. And I think we also know Kevin Durant's kind of a softy on the basketball court in terms of leadership anyways. Kevin Durant cast as the leader of your basketball team, your team's not going to do nothing. Kevin Durant cast as the leading scorer on your basketball team, sky's the limit. But as the leader, the emotional leader, the follow me, I'm the captain, I know the way guy, Kevin doesn't check any of those boxes. And the fact that you look at the Phoenix Suns, you see an overwhelming amount of offensive talent in Booker, in Beal, in Kevin Durant, but no substance to any of it. It's just perfect. It really is. It really is. Kevin Durant is a bucket and a pussy all at the same time. And his team that he is on now is direct reflection of that. It really is. They're perfect for each other. KD's a walking 30 points. You're right. KD is a bucket. I'm not lying when I say that. There is a very, very, very special individual player in Kevin Durant. The Phoenix Suns are 27-31, and there is no team in sports riding a train to nowhere as fast as the Suns are. It's just truth. And this is the truth too, Joe. Kevin Durant just lets the noise get to him all the time. All the time. Kevin Durant can be bullied by an anonymous 13-year-old kid on Twitter. As a matter of fact, Kevin Durant only takes his career advice from Twitter outrage. And I really mean it. The fact that he didn't take a trade back to Golden State means his jersey should not be retired. He can still be part of the statue, but I don't think you retire that guy's jersey. Because when you asked him, hey, do you want to make love again? He gave you the middle finger and said, go to McDonald's, you loser. That's what Kevin Durant did. You were ready to set up a beautiful dinner together, start dating again. He said, take your ass to the drive-through window. I ain't interested in coming over. Well, then, have fun on your going nowhere fast freaking Phoenix Suns team. We got a little snowflake action from Clown Man for Kevin Durant. We got Sporticus saying, KD's a bucket, but when it comes to refuse to lose mentality, he is no Jimmy Butler, and that nails it. Jimmy Butler is half the basketball player Kevin Durant is in terms of skill, and twice the basketball player as a leader that Kevin Durant has ever even wanted to be. And again, Kevin Durant saying that he didn't want to move again is the funniest reason in the world that Kevin Durant could possibly offer for reasons why he didn't want to come. Because Kevin Durant moves on from every situation that he's been in his entire life every 3, 4, 5 years. It's what he does. Final thing I have for you, other than Jimmy's got good vibes. The Warriors are pointed in the right direction. They just won their 3,000th career game as a franchise. Congratulations to them. Luka likes hookah, and the Lakers are legit again. And by the way, LeBron looks, I haven't seen LeBron this happy on the court in a while. I know no one here is rooting for LeBron. LeBron's got springs on him now. He's springy. He's excited. Suns are a joke. They are the mirror image of who Kevin Durant is as a basketball player. The last thing I have to tell you about before we get into today in history. Did you hear the Diana Taurasi story about Draymond Green? It's great. So Terasi is calling it a career. She's retiring. She's getting her bouquet. Everybody is penning why, Terasi is one of the great women's basketball players of all time. And there's absolutely no doubt she was a evolutionary step. Like, you do not get to Caitlin Clark without going through Diana Taurasi first. I don't pretend to know much about the WNBA or women's hoops, but I do know that. And Terasi, a killer. She's a fucking killer as a basketball player. She wasn't there to play well. She was there to beat you. You got to respect that. And apparently, this is a story from the Olympics. And often in the Olympics, they need to put, if they're not building, all these athlete dorms, they got to put them somewhere. Well, when hotels fill up, they sometimes bring in cruise ships. And when you think about it, a cruise ship really is just a floating hotel, so it works. And Team USA, both men's and women's, were staying on a cruise ship. And as all Olympians do, they're gathering, hanging out. It's a night off for both teams. So you got the greatest men's players in the United States, the greatest women's players in the United States, and they're all kind of hanging out. And they're telling their fishtails, their tall stories. Everybody's bragging and everybody's backslapping and having a really, really good time. And apparently while all this is happening, competitive trash talk starts and blah, blah, blah. I am this, you are that, blah, blah, good stuff. Nothing combative, nothing nasty. Good, fun, high-level, world-class athlete, competitive, sitting around having a cocktail shit talking. I wish I could have been a fly on the wall. Well, the story, as I read it, was that Draymond, he's starting to feel himself, and he's talking about the greatness of the him and the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And apparently Diana Taurasi just had heard enough and brought the entire room to its knees when she said to Draymond Green, "Hey, Draymond, what's it like to be the only person in this room who's never seen a double team?" Oh, you know what? I hope that Draymond walked over, got on one knee and kissed the back of her hand and said, "My shit talking princess, you have officially shut me up." What's it like to be the one dude in the room who's never seen a double team? Let me tell you, I wish I had followed Diana Taurasi's career a little closer now. I didn't know she was that much of a killer. That's awesome. Now, that story was passed along hearsay. I want to hear it from Draymond. Can Draymond confirm whether or not Terasi ever actually said that to him? Because if so, that shit is savage. Because remember, all jokes, to really be good and funny, have to have just a little bit of element of truth to them, don't they? That's a great one. Okay, so that's it. That's today's show, folks. That is what we got for you today. I'm so sorry that Cyrus could not join us this afternoon here. Please like and subscribe to the Plus. We are approaching now 28,000 subscribers. Where are we? Yeah, we are at 27,916. So we are fewer than 100 subscribers away from reaching 28,000. Thank you for the subs, for liking, subscribing. Thanks for the supers. Thanks for the stickers. Thanks for all of that shit. Really means a lot. Go and support my sponsors, especially my man Ike as you're thinking about lunch today. Do you order lunch for your office? Check out Ike's Catering. Do you want to go hang out with your office in a great neighborhood bar in San Francisco? Get to the Dubliner West Portal. If you want to start lording your gambling wins over your office, start gambling over at BetUS and do so responsibly, please. By using promo code YouTube150, you can save 150%. Sign up bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit over on BetUS. And by the way, there is a big gambling story that is unfolding that I'm going to get my mind a little bit more around before we talk about it on Thursday's live stream at 11. So hopefully you plan on coming back. We'll get back into the combine, back into the draft. But this was a Warriors Weekly show. I'm sorry we didn't have Cyrus. He'll be back next week if everything goes according to plan. And we hope that you plan on sticking around as well. Are you ready for your history lesson? Here we go. Today in history, it is February 26th, and February 26th would have delivered to us 3 huge birthdays, but all of these men have passed away. Today would have been Johnny Cash's birthday. Johnny Cash would have turned 93 today. If you want to get your soul right, if you want to do the most manly ass shit you can do today, go listen to some Johnny Cash. Go listen to Johnny Cash live at Folsom. It's good for you. It's good for your soul. It's good for your good side. It's bad for your dark side as well. Respect to Johnny Cash. Today would have been Jackie Gleason's 109th birthday. Jackie Gleason, one of the all-time great comedians, one of the pioneers of comedy on TV with the Honeymooners. He and Art Carney were like the first great TV comedy duo ever offered up in sitcom form. Again, my grandparents gave me the gift of watching some great old classic TV when I was a kid. And I have seen every single episode of the Honeymooners, and you should too. There's a lot of the Honeymooners that doesn't necessarily age well. Like one of the punchlines, one of the catchphrases is bang, zoom to the moon, Alice, where he's basically saying, I'm going to punch you so hard you will reach the moon. It wouldn't exactly go over in 2005, but it was 2025, but it was, it was a different time. It was different. My son's name is Jack, and when I call him Jackie, I'm never really thinking Jackie Robinson. I'm thinking Jackie Gleason. I loved Jackie Gleason. And by the way, today would have been the 196th birthday of the dude who made the pants that you're probably wearing right now. Today would have been Levi Strauss's birthday. Obviously a big deal here in San Francisco. Levi Strauss started in San Francisco to give the minor and the hardworking man, a pair of more durable pants, denim with copper rivets, invented for a hard day's work. Now, every single barista in America is wearing a pair of Levi's jeans. Not exactly working in a coal mine, not exactly working in a gold mine, not exactly building the the Golden Gate Bridge, but happy birthday to what would have been the 196th birthday of Levi Strauss. Certainly helped change the face of San Francisco. All right, speaking of guys who helped change the face of things, let's go all the way back to 1616. Today in history, on February 26, 1616, the Roman Catholic Church officially banned, excommunicated Galileo from teaching or defending the view that the earth orbits the sun. Why that would have ever bothered anybody religiously, I do not know. That seems more scientific than religious. But again, remember, Galileo lived in a time where they thought thunder meant God was angry. So, you know, idiots. Today in 1919, 800,000 acres of the Grand Canyon, which were already labeled a national monument, were officially designated as a national park under President Woodrow Wilson. Have we had a Woodrow since Woodrow Wilson? I mean, are all Woodies Woodrows? I don't know. Either way, when I think of the ultimate incompletes of my American travel, the Grand Canyon is top of the list. I have never been to the Grand Canyon. I got to take care of that. I've been to Arizona too many times to keep on saying that out loud. It's time. I got to see the Grand Canyon eventually. Let's see. Speaking of, hey, let's make it a national park. Today in 1929, President Calvin Coolidge signed into law a bill establishing the Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. And as you all know, Grand Teton directly translates to Nice Rack. So Nice Rack National Park in Wyoming today in 1929. Today in 1993, the very first World Trade Center bombing happened. I was a freshman, I believe, at Iona. I had yet to even transfer to Indiana. And that was a big deal. That there was a bomb in a parked truck under the North Tower. 6 people died in that explosion. Now, obviously, the World Trade Center and, people dying there changed dramatically in the future. But the very first inkling that was going to be a severe target happened today in 1993. And I would say to end on a happier note, but this isn't a happy note to end on, other than I'm going to recommend to you a very good movie. Today in 1995, Selena performed her last concert in Houston before being shot and murdered by her own manager. Incredibly beautiful, talented young woman, cut down in the prime of her life as she was about to really embrace some stardom. And I'm not a big fan of Tejano music, but I am a big fan of any great movie. And the movie Selena is a great movie. I hope you see it. Jennifer Lopez, Edward James Olmos. This is a great movie. Great movie. Like, it passed good 15 miles ago. It's a great movie. Selena. So there you go. Enjoy, watch. Michelle Haberman. Viva Selena. Yeah, Viva Selena. J-Lo in her prime. Yeah. Yeah. You know who really was a huge Selena fan? Gianna. Who, by the way, Gianna's birthday is coming up soon. Gianna turns 50 just a few days before I do. She wears it better, but I want the entire world to always know and remember Gianna's a little bit older than me. I love her so much. We're going to go down and celebrate her 50th with her family, have a little birthday brunch. Can't wait. Anyway, yeah, J-Lo in her prime. Gianna's still in her prime, baby. Shout out Gianna. Indeed, Otis. Shout out Gianna. Shout out everyone who stopped on by today. Best thing J-Lo's ever done. It is one of her best movies. She's also really good in that sexy U.S. Marshal movie that she did with George Clooney. What's that called? Like Short Sight or Insight or something like that. Short. I don't know. That's a good one too. That's a good one too. There you go. Thank you so much for watching. The Warriors have once again given us something to really lean into and be interested in and watch, and not just watch for empty calories. There's nothing else on TV. You know, I've been saying it still feels like they are going to top out in the second round. I'm going to sign up to maybe be wrong about that, and I'll be very happy to be wrong about that. When the Warriors are playing like this, when the Warriors are acting like this, who knows? Got Draymond Green saying we're going to be championship. I don't know about that, but they certainly are playing with a substance that was absent before Jimmy Butler joined the conversation. Thank you for joining this conversation today, for being in the chat, for liking, subscribing. Thank you for patronizing our fantastic sponsors, Ike's, BetUS, and our good friends at the Dubliner West portal. I hope you all have a wonderful Wednesday. We'll be back on Thursday. Someone was saying, how come no wake up? Well, Larry and I have an announcement to make on Friday. We are going to take wake up and only do it on Mondays and Fridays during the off season. Larry's been burning the candle on both ends. We always feel like that Wednesday wake up has been the least valuable. And should something big happen, we'll of course do a show. But I think our off-season wake up program will just be Mondays and Fridays. So that's where wake up wasn't today. And again, the first rule of show business is leave them wanting more. So thank you for wanting more. Thank you for being a part of this. Hit like and subscribe. And my dear friends, please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Take care.